Okay, all right, okay. The first of the big three press conferences to go was Microsoft. Probably my most anticipated conference of E3 2018 for the simple fact that we really didn't know what Microsoft was going to show. A lot of these press conferences, you kind of can predict what the games that are going to be shown because of what they have already announced in prior conferences, and just because of how late we are in the generation, what we can really expect, especially when it comes to the big three. Microsoft, I had no idea coming in, so my expectations were kind of high. To me, they had the most to show, and at the same time, they had the most where they could be put to the point where they could be like let you down the most. Is what I'm gonna say about that. So let's go over the show, and then of course at the end I'll give my review score and about everything that I thought. So to start off the show, and forgive me if I missed something, they had a lot of shit at their conference this year. A lot. Even more than last year. If you thought last year was a lot, this year was even more. So forgive me if I forget anything. But to start off the show, they showed off a trailer for Halo Infinite. Now, this trailer disappointed me because I was excited for Halo, the next installment, but I thought since we were almost 3 years removed from the release of Halo 5, that when it came time to show the next Halo, they would be able to show us gameplay or at least a heavy story trailer to the point where we know exactly what's going on. This Halo trailer was literally nothing but a teaser. It looked as if the game might be going open world. They did talk about at the end how it's running in a newer engine. It did look good, if I have to say. It looked good. But like I said, it looked like it's going to be more of an open world game. I did read an article talking about how this is a continuation from Halo 5, but this was after the fact. You know what I mean? So after the fact, you did learn that out. But the trailer itself was kind of disappointing because I wanted to see more. This is one of your big flagship titles, and for them to just come out with a tease, I'm like, maybe they're going to show more at the end, but we never saw from Halo again. Halo Infinite, I don't even know when they expect this game to come out. If it is running on a newer engine, maybe that's why after 3 years from Halo 5, it's taken much longer for this game to come out. But nonetheless, a little bit disappointed in what they shown for Halo Infinite. Moving on, they showed Ori and the Will of the Wisp. This game looks absolutely beautiful. I played probably about a quarter way through the first Ori, and I will get back to finishing this game, especially before the second one comes out, which is in 2019. At the time, it just a couple other games caught my interest, and I haven't gotten a chance to go back. But this game looks to improve on all the aspects of Ori. The first one, the combat looks much better. The traversal looks much better. The art style is even good, even better, of course, with different environments and stuff like that. Saw some of like the boss fights that they showed off a little bit. It looks really good. Go check out that trailer too. It's on the Xbox trailer. The music in this game is fantastic. Like one of the best soundtracks you'll probably find this generation. And it comes from Ori and the Blind Forest, and I'm pretty sure Ori and the Will of the Wisp will continue that theory. Not that theory, but we'll continue that trend. Next up on the list, which blew my damn mind. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Microsoft pulled up. Microsoft pulled up at their press conference with a From Software trailer. You know how shocking that is? You know how shocking? For the simple fact that From Software is a Japanese-based studio, and everybody swore up and down that this trailer was going to pop up on PlayStation's press conference, if anything. If any third party was to announce this From Software game, it was going to pop up on PlayStation's conference. And no, Xbox got the new From Software game, and I might butcher this name, but it's Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This game deadass looks like a cross between Nioh and Bloodborne. The gameplay for this game looks absolutely amazing. It's faster paced than the Souls games. Right there in between like I said, like the Bloodborne Nioh games. God damn, it takes styles from Bloodborne with the bosses and the movesets, and then it takes styles from Nioh with how fast you can get into the combat and using the trick weapons and all this other stuff. Like, The gameplay for this looked really good. And even if we don't get a Bloodborne 2, I am happy. I am happy to say that this game I am looking forward to just as much as a Bloodborne 2, just for the simple fact that it looks like two of my favorite games that came out this generation, Neo and Bloodborne. It's supposed to be coming out in 2019. Hopefully it's early 2019. Actually, maybe not, hopefully. Maybe not too early 2019 because it's already looking packed over there. So maybe hopefully like an April. Just spread it out a little bit more. Everybody's getting on the early in the year wave. Y'all see that? PlayStation started it off this gen, dropping games early in the year just to get away from the big fall titles. Now everybody want to slide in there. Now early in the year becoming a new fall. Like, y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta relax. It's too packed now. God damn. Next up on the list. Fallout stuff. They showed off a trailer for Fallout 76. And I think they announced some new mods stuff coming to Fallout 4. This Fallout 76 stuff, I'll be talking about more in my Bethesda review. But it was just a trailer. It showed a little bit more about the setting of the game, which is in West Virginia. And just showed a little bit more about the world and its environments. Nothing too crazy, but overall it was an okay trailer. Nothing to really take from it other than that. Next up, we saw Crackdown 3. Now, we all heard that Crackdown 3 was getting delayed, the rumors, and then Microsoft came out and confirmed it the next day. And then we also heard about how the game is getting more funded, like more money put into its budget. They came back with a Crackdown 3 trailer. We saw that Terry Crews is the main character, it looks like, for the game. So we saw his character in action. To me, the game didn't look too much different from what they showed from gameplay before. Of course, it looked more polished, and that's just going to come with the time. But it didn't look like this massive overhaul that I'm sure some people were expecting when you hear that they're going to put more money into it. But what I was disappointed about with this showing is that they didn't show any of the destruction. We still have not seen the destruction since the reveal. With the multiplayer, we've seen none of that. So I'm still worried about that. But nonetheless, I'm still looking forward to Crackdown 3. And of course, it comes out February 22nd. Like every damn game seems to be coming out next year. It's crazy, man. February 22nd is packed. Next up, they showed Nier Automata is going to be coming to Xbox. I didn't finish this game yet, but it is a great game from what I played so far. And I'm happy to see the Xbox guys get a chance to play this because I think everybody should get their hands on this game. Nier Automata is a fantastic game. So I'm happy to see that, you know, the Japanese, the JRPG support is coming heavy to Xbox. Next, they showed some gameplay on the trailer for Metro Exodus. We learned that this game, I think this game might have gotten delayed to next year, but the gameplay is looking really good. I do own the first two games on PC, so I want to finish those two up before I jump into the Exodus. And if it is coming out next year, then that gives me even more time to finish those two games up. But the gameplay for this game is looking really good. If you're not familiar with the Metro series, then I suggest you check it out because I think you'll be pretty impressed on what they showed from the trailer. Next up, another game that I did not expect to be on the Xbox conference floor, and it was Kingdom Hearts 3. We got to see that they're bringing the Frozen world to the game, and they also showed the release date that we had got announced earlier today, which is in January. They didn't keep their 2018 promise, but at this point, what's waiting a couple more months for Kingdom Hearts 3? We've been waiting damn near all our lives for this game to come out, so a couple more months ain't gonna hurt us. But it does suck that we do have to wait for it. I'll have to say, when I was watching this press conference, the English dub for Sora's voice did not sound good to me. I don't know how I'm gonna play this game, but that English dub did. I don't know. It sounds like he's in the middle of going through puberty, so his voice is getting a little bit deeper. But I don't know if I like that. I think they should have just kept the voice from before. I don't know. I guess he is a little bit older, so you got to go with the times. But nah, I'm not really feeling the way that voice is sounding. They got to do something about that. They got to do something about that. Next up, we saw Sea of Thieves DLC. I didn't think Sea of Thieves would be at this Xbox press conference, just for the simple fact of the reception of the game. I thought maybe they would want to go away, but it seemed as if they had something to show. And it looks like the next few DLC expansions they got coming out in July and September actually have some story to it. And that was one of my biggest problems with Sea of Thieves when I first played it, is that, or not even played it, when I first, heard about it, is that it didn't have a story. It's really kind of a create your own adventure kind of game, and that kind of stuff. It you know, the gameplay has to be really fantastic for me to keep up with something like that. And Sea of Thieves wasn't doing it for me enough for me to care to play it, especially without a story. So these DLC expansions seems to have more of a narrative to them, and maybe I'll jump back in. I don't know. We'll see. I really have to have nothing to play to jump back into this game, but we'll see. We'll see. Next on my list, Battlefield 5. They, like I was saying in my EA review, they talked about how Battlefield 5 was going to be at Xbox. I think they showed a minute trailer, a story trailer, and they really didn't show much. So again, this game continues to puzzle me, and the fact that they haven't shown much at these press conferences, and the most you get to see as far as gameplay goes is at the on these YouTube channels like Jack Frags or somebody like that. So I don't know about this game, man. I'm still gonna pick it up, but I'm not as excited as I thought I would be, especially when it comes to being a Battlefield game. It's whatever at this point. I'm gonna play it, and if it blows me away, then that's just gonna have to be the case. But I'm not super excited for Battlefield 5. Next on my list was Forza Horizon 4. To be expected. If it was anything I could guarantee was gonna be at this year's E3 for Xbox, it was Forza Horizon 4. The setting disappointed. I wanted the setting to be Tokyo, Japan, Hong Kong, something like that, because I think with Forza, they do such a great job with the visuals that they could really, really, really turn up with a game like a Forza in Tokyo with all the lights and the drifting and all that other stuff. It'll literally be like, Tokyo Drift, Fast and the Furious, you know what I mean? Like, Playground Games, they're great at visuals, and they make great games overall. Like, the Forza games are really good. The setting for this game is in UK. So, while it's not Tokyo like I want it to be, it did look really good. And they put a big emphasis on how the seasons really change up the terrain and change up the environment, so that even though the weather is different, you're not racing on the same track with just different weather. It really changes up how the track looks, well, the environment looks, and what you're racing on. So I thought that was pretty dope to see. And they even had some like 4D stuff going on where, like, when it was fall in the game, they had some leaves falling down from the sky. Like, I think Sony did something like that with like Days Gone. They had like zombies hanging from the ceiling when they were showing Days Gone at E3 last year. So I thought that was probably cool for the people in attendance. It did look a little weird seeing it from our end, because I'm like, what the hell is that coming down from the ceiling? But it made sense to go together with the fall theme of Forza Horizon 4. So overall, I think I'm gonna try this out, especially on like Game Pass or something like that. Next up, Microsoft, probably one of their best announcements right here. All generation we've been talking about how Microsoft only has Halo, Gears, and Forza, and everything else seems to fall flat. So Microsoft heard us loud and clear, and they have purchased 5 new studios that they're going to be bringing on board as first-party studios, and they're going to be creating new experience for Xbox moving forward. So the first studio they announced was called The Initiative, which is headed by Daryl Gallagher, I believe his name is, and he came from working on the Tomb Raider games and stuff like that. So they hired him not too long ago, and I guess he's going to lead this Initiative studio, and they're going to be creating games over there for Xbox. So that was cool to hear. The next one they announced was Undead Labs. These people make State of Decay, which is a game that I don't really like, but it's cool to see Microsoft buy them up, and hopefully that means their future IPs will be bigger in budget and have more polish to them, because we all know State of Decay could have used both of those. The next one they announced was Playground Games, which made perfect sense. They have made a whole bunch of Forza Horizon games for Microsoft, and they also just started up a new team over at Playground Games. So it looks like that game that they're working on, which is rumored to be a Fable game, will be coming to Xbox soon. And hopefully it has like a big overhaul, and it's not the traditional Fable games like we've known, because that studio got canceled. Well, Lionhead got canceled. So that Fable, maybe that Fable era is done, and they're coming back with a new style Fable, something that's more modern in the style of maybe like a Witcher or a Horizon, something that looks similar to that, big open world, you know what I mean, different tone possibly. And I'm really excited to see, because Playground Games, like I said earlier, they're fantastic at what they do. So I'm pretty sure whatever they make next, whether it's a Fable or not, I'm eager to see what it is. One of the actually the biggest surprise as far as studios that they bought was Ninja Theory. Yes, Microsoft now Ninja Theory is a first party studio for Microsoft. If you're not too familiar with Ninja Theory, maybe you've heard of some of the games they worked on, like Heavenly Sword, Enslaved Odyssey to the West, the DMC games, and most recently Hellblade, a fantastic game that they made. So Ninja Theory has a great track record, and for them, I think they said like 10 people worked on Hellblade, and now this new studio, well, now the studio under Microsoft has like 100 employees. So to see what they can do with a large budget behind them and more employees, I can't wait to see what they're gonna make. It might take a few years to come out, but I'm excited for whatever Ninja Theory has coming up next. One of my favorite developers and probably one of the most underrated developers in the industry. And last but not least, they announced that they purchased Compulsion Games, which is the developers behind We Happy Few. And We Happy Few was already announced to be like a multi-plat, so I'm pretty sure that's going to continue. But I think whatever they got in store moving forward will, of course, be Xbox Windows 10 exclusive. So yeah, 5 new studios for Microsoft to add to their list of studios they already have. That's great news. I don't think any of these studios' new games are going to come out into the next Xbox. And that kind of left me not surprised, but it's like when you get hit with the reality that this gen might just be getting wrapped up with Halo, Gears, and Forza for the rest, and a couple of smaller titles to round out whatever Xbox has coming for the next few years. Next up, they showed a trailer for We Happy Few. I guess that game is coming out in August. So, I don't know. I might check it out. Not too big on what I've seen from We Happy Few, but it is cool to see that they're finally coming out of the preview program and it's going to get its full official launch in August. Next, they showed a PUBG, like a war mode, team deathmatch type of mode, and like a new map, I think it was. I hope the game is running good for y'all, but last I heard, PUBG was a frame per second mess on Xbox. So maybe they should focus more on getting that frame rate right rather than announcing new modes. But I think they need to do something quick because I heard that player base is dropping. So they got to do something real fast to get people back on board. And a new mode will help out with that. Next, they showed Tales of Vesperia, JRPG. Not a big fan of Tales of Vesperia, but I heard the Tales games were pretty solid franchise, so it's cool to see Xbox getting some JRPGs. Oh, God. I told you Xbox announced a lot. You know what I mean? So bear with me. We got a few more announcements to show off. Next on my list was Division 2. I thought the Division 1 was okay. I beat the story. I think I even got the platinum for that game on PS4. I think I got the platinum. Yeah, I got the platinum on that game. Put a lot of hours into it. And when they showed off the Division 2, it takes place in Washington, D.C. But when they showed off the gameplay, it looked to me like more of the same from the Division 1. It had a few new gadgets that they displayed, but nothing that they really showed blew my mind. You kind of could like sum this up as Division DLC or like Division 1.5 because nothing they showed like really made you think like, wow, this really looks like this really looks like a sequel to what we had for the Division. It looks more like an expansion or like a DLC for it. So I don't know, maybe if a couple people that I know are picking it up and they want to play, maybe I'll get into it. But as of right now, I'm not too excited for what I saw of the Division 2. Next up, they talked about Game Pass and how they're bringing like some fast load technology to Game Pass, whether it be the game start faster or download faster. I'm not too clear on that. I'm gonna have to read up a little bit more on that. But that was cool to hear. And then they announced a few new games coming to Game Pass today, which I think was Fallout 4, the what else? The original Division, and I believe it was Elder Scrolls Online coming to Game Pass. So Game Pass continuing to expand its library, and that's dope. Because Game Pass to me is a great service and something that if you don't have and you're on Xbox, you should really think about investing in, especially with the fact that you get all the new first-party games coming out on Game Pass as well. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Next, they showed an indie reel with some cool little indie games coming up. I didn't see The Last Night, I think it was called. The game that they showed off last year that looked really cool. Had like a cyberpunk vibe to it. Didn't get to see that game again. I wonder what's going on with that game, if it's going through some development problems or something like that. But that was one of the games I was looking forward to seeing this E3, and it wasn't there. Next, we got a trailer for Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider. What can I say about Tomb Raider? The basically they kind of, when it was kind of like a story trailer. You got to see a little bit more about what's going on with the story. I can't say I'm excited for this game. I will pick it up, but I'm not too excited for it. I personally thought the last Tomb Raider was a good game, but I think the 2013 game was better in my opinion. This one seems to have a much darker tone to it, and that's something I can get behind. And they didn't really show a lot of gameplay. We might have to wait for the Square Enix conference at tomorrow to see a little bit more gameplay for Tomb Raider. Next I had on my list was Session, which seems to be like a spiritual successor to Skate. I heard about this game a few months ago when they announced their Kickstarter, and ever since then I had my eye on it because EA doesn't seem to give a fuck about making another Skate game. So it seems as if these guys, who might have either worked on Skate before or been huge fans of the Skate game enough to make a spiritual successor, but I think this game can be something, especially for the fans that have been wanting the Skate 4 game. So it was cool to see this game on Xbox's stage. It looks like it's coming first to console and Xbox, and then probably Xbox and PC first, and then maybe other platforms later on. So excited to see this game is still going strong, and I can't wait for it to come out. I will be playing that. They showed Black Desert Online next, which is a game I don't care for, but seeing the gameplay for it, it looked pretty cool. I'm not really into MMOs like that, but Black Desert Online is one that a lot of people talk about, and a lot of people swear by being a great game. So I'll take y'all word for it, but it was cool to see it on the press conference stage. And next up, probably my favorite announcement of the show, man, that Devil May Cry 5. I was kind of thrown off a little bit at first because it said Devil May Cry, but then the first character you see was Nero. But it's so wrapped up in my head that the last Devil May Cry was DMC, which was Dante, but his physical character looked different. And Nero looked like Dante from DMC. So I'm like, hold up, is this DMC? But I'm like, no, Ninja Theory made DMC. They're not doing DMC. This is Devil May Cry 5. So why does it look like Dante? It was Nero the whole time. Nero was the main focus of this trailer. And if you played Devil May Cry 4, you would know that Nero was kind of a big character in that game. But then at the end of the Devil May Cry 5 trailer, you see Dante was in there. So I was hyped to see this trailer. The gameplay looks fantastic. Go watch that trailer, y'all. The game looks damn good. And another game that I was shocked to see on Xbox stage. So with From Software, with Devil May Cry 5, and Kingdom Hearts 3, three Japanese games I was shocked to see on Xbox's stage that I thought all would be on PlayStation stage. So Xbox is definitely doing their thing with trying to bring, Japanese games to the forefront and get their fans excited about what's coming out. But that Devil May Cry 5, I think it's running on the Resident Evil 7 engine, so it's probably going to be 60 frames per second, and it looked good visually. Can't wait to play that game. Cannot wait to play that game. And next up I had on my list was Cuphead DLC. Come on. What is there to say else about it? It's more Cuphead. Give me it. Give me it. Give me it. 2019. Can't wait. Nothing more to say about that. New bosses, new moves, stuff like that. Probably new weapons. I can't wait. Tunic was another game that they showed on the press conference. I went to go use the bathroom at this point, but when I did come back, I watched the trailer, and it looked cool. It's like it kind of has like a, I don't know, like a Zelda-ish type of vibe to it, but the character looks like a fox. So I thought it was like Super Lucky Tale for a quick second, but the gameplay looked really good. I might check it out. I don't know. Next up, we saw again another Japanese game by Bandai Namco called Jump Force. Now, if you are ever heard of J-Stars, you would know it's like the big fighting game with all the anime characters together into one. This kind of looks like what that was, but the art style is much different. They showed a trailer for this game that had a little bit of gameplay sprinkled in. They're kind of going for a realistic slash anime style. So it was kind of throwing me off a little bit between what I was seeing. I thought was CGI, but I guess it was gameplay. I'm excited to see more of this game just because it's a whole bunch of anime characters like J-Stars combined into one game fighting against each other. Again, I'm not big on fighting games, but I just want to see more of what this game plays like and if it's going to be something that's really like relevant in the fighting game community, because fighting games are definitely like one of the most popular genres this generation, whether you like are happy for them or excited for them or not. So it's cool to see Jump Force. Another announcement that Microsoft made that really got me excited was Dying Light 2. Probably the most underrated game this generation. I feel like a lot of people slept on the first Dying Light. I absolutely love this game. If you haven't played it, I think at this point you should be, because not only is the game great, but the post-content support that they've been giving Dying Light has been some of the best this generation. In fact, they just announced more content for the game like last week, and the sequel is announced now. So they've been supporting this game since it came out back in, I believe it was 2014 or 2015, and now they have announced the sequel to this game. It looks to improve on everything from the first one with the parkour, with the environments. The world looks like it's like more alive. Basically, the decisions you make in like story dialogues or who you kill directly impact the world around you as far as what it's going to look like, what resources are available to the people in the environment. And of course, they showed a little bit of like what we're going to be able to get from the combat of the game. So more weapons, better worlds, just more Dying Light. And I can't complain. I'm really excited for that. Next, they showed a quick teaser for Battletoads. We didn't get any gameplay. It was pretty much just a little narrative going on and then a picture at the end. I think I heard somebody named Delilah Studios is working on this game. So I don't think Rare has anything to do with, well, maybe they have something to do with it, but I don't think Rare is the main studio behind what we gonna get from the new Battletoads. So I'm interested to see if the game is gonna be as hard as the original Battletoads games, or if they're gonna dial it back a little bit. So we'll probably get more from that maybe next year. But I want to see what they got going on with this Battletoads game. Next up was Just Cause 4. Not a big fan of Just Cause. I played Just Cause 3 for a little bit. It just didn't grab me at this point. But this game, from the trailer, it seems to have like a darker tone to it. I don't know. Maybe I'll try Just Cause 3 again, try and get into it. If not, then I probably won't be picking up Just Cause 4. But like I said, the trailer did seem to have like a darker tone to it. And it didn't look terrible, but like I said, I'm just not interested in the character in the world of Just Cause. It's just not something I care too much about. Next up, we had a couple Gears announcements. Now, Gears was rumored to have 3 games show up at E3, and I thought that was a troll. But it was confirmed at their press conference. The first game that they showed was Gears Pop, which is like a Funko Pop style mobile game that they got coming out for Gears. And I thought that was going to be it. Everybody was like, ain't no way Gears is on stage and y'all showing a Funko Pop game, especially a game that's only going to be on mobile. But that wasn't it. The next thing they showed off was Gears Tactics, which is like an RTS game that they got coming out. And what was shocking about this game is that this is PC exclusive. And it shocked me because they just came out with Halo Wars game, which is, you know, that genre of that kind of game. It seemed as if like it was only but it's mainly on PC, but they brought Halo Wars to Xbox. And I thought maybe they would do the same thing for this Gears RTS game. And it seems like that's not going to be the case. This Gears Tactics game is going to be PC only. I'm not interested. So like the Gears Pop game, Gears Tactics was something that I was like, all right, that's cool. But I know that that's not it. And sure enough, the third announcement was Gears 5. Gears 5 has Kate as the main character. And it looks to take place like a couple years after the events of Gears 4. And Kate, it's basically going to continue. I don't want to spoil anything as far as the Gears 4 story goes, but it's going to continue on what we learned at the end of Gears of War 4. Now, what was interesting the most about this Gears 5 stuff is that it seems that there's going to be new ways for combat, and the enemy variety is going to be much wider. So without, taking Gears out of what it's always been too much, there's still look to be introducing new ways to play and new enemy variety, enemy varieties in the game. So I can't be mad at that. I'm looking forward to this game. I really enjoyed Gears of War 4, and it looks like Gears 5 is coming out in 2019. So excited for that, and it's going to be on Game Pass day one. So we there without a doubt. And lastly, to close out the show, Microsoft showed off Cyberpunk 2077. This game is made by CD Projekt Red, who has made Witcher 3 a fantastic game. But before Witcher 3, I can't say I was checking for CD Projekt Red games. Now, CD Projekt Witcher 3, which was a fantastic game, a lot of things about that game didn't grab me, mainly the setting and the characters. Cyberpunk 2077 really has a vibe that I can get behind. We only saw like a CGI trailer, so only thing you can take from it is the atmosphere of the world and basically the art style of the game, I guess you could say. The futuristic 80s kind of style game. I really want to see more of this because that kind of stuff really excites me. I know the soundtrack is probably going to be amazing, and I'm pretty sure CD Projekt Red is going to do their thing, but I just need to see more from Cyberpunk before I make a decision. Like, I need to see how is it going to play. Is it first person? Is it third person? How much elements are they taking from The Witcher 3 as far as the open world? Will the quest be as dynamic as it was in The Witcher 3? I have no doubts that it will be, but I just want to see it. I want to see the gameplay in action. And it's been long enough. Like, we've been hearing about this game for a while. So it's time next time they show this game, I want to see gameplay. But that was the end of Microsoft's press conference. So initially, I said I would give this press conference a 7 out of 10. I'll probably up that to a 7.5, just thinking back on it. What really got me excited for this conference the most is that Microsoft is focused on the future of Xbox with the 5 new studios that they got coming out. But like I said before, the thing about that is we're going to have to wait a while to see what manifests out of these studios and what games are going to come out. But as far as the right now, only thing that I'm looking forward to this year for Xbox is Forza Horizon for the rest of the year. And then next year we got Gears, and I don't know when that next Halo coming out. But when you think about it, it's like it seems as if Microsoft is kind of surrendering the rest of this generation and looking more towards the future of Xbox with those 5 studios that we mentioned before. The third-party announcements for this conference were off the chain. Probably the best I've ever seen in a first-party conference. And it was a lot of them. A lot of shocking ones that I didn't expect to be there. And ones that really got me excited for games that we got coming out this year and next year. And yeah, so overall, the multiplex really stole the show and those 5 studio announcements. So I think the 7.5 is fair. Because of this, I can't go any higher because like I said, I wanted to see more newer announcements from first party. Even if it was kind of just a teaser, I didn't get to see nothing about Perfect Dark that I thought we would hear about. A Sunset Overdrive 2, a Rise Son of Rome 2, or something like that. Something about the Fable game that we've been hearing that was getting rumored. Nothing like that. You know what I mean? They did talk about how they're getting invested in the cloud service, like how PlayStation Now is and how EA is getting into it. And they also talked about how they're already starting on their next Xbox console, which we already knew was coming. It's just inevitable at this point. It was just shocking to hear that they're talking about it so early. Xbox One X just came out last year. They're already talking about another Xbox. But hey, it is what it is at this point. These generations, I'm telling y'all, even with the mid-gen refreshes, I still see these generations not lasting as long as last gen did. So I don't know, 7.5 out of 10. I would give Xbox conference. And out of the first of the big 3 to go, I think they did a good job with their third-party announcements. But the first-party announcements, other than the studio announcements, left much to be desired, in my opinion, as far as the near future. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys thought about this. What you guys think about the Xbox press conference? What would you rate their conference? And of course, rate the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and I'll catch you on my next video. Peace.